Tim is visiting Beijing. A map called Central Axis in his hands attracts him. Staring at the map, he begins to imagine the journey of the Central Axis. Suddenly, time and space changes and brings Tim to the imaginary Central Axis. Yongding Gate comes into his sight. He walks toward the Yongding Gate and looks up at the old Chinese tower. Climbing up the tower, he has an amazing overlook of the whole city. Yongding Gate is the south starting point of the Central Axis. Here in the Yongding Park, there is the remains of the road paved for southern Central Axis. Left side of the road lies the altar of agriculture. There is a sacred barn in it, which mainly used to store food for sacrifice. The wooden carving long in the altar of agriculture means good luck. The Chinese long is so amazing that it suddenly comes back to life and flies into the air. The long gets closer to Tim and sends warm greeting to him. The opposite side of the road lies the Temple of Heaven. The Hall of Prayer for Good Harvests locates here, which is a huge red and blue circular building. Following the southern part of the Central Axis to the north, Tim sees the Tiananmen Square. Standing in the square, Tim looks up and finds a swift kite in the sky. The kite turns into a real swift and flies towards him. Guided by the swift, he walks through the Tiananmen Square and arrives at the Forbidden City. Wandering around the Forbidden City, Tim witnesses the magnificent palace. Suddenly, an orange kitten appears in front of him. Accompanied by the kitten, Tim drowns himself into numbers of fascinating palaces. Then he goes to Jingshan Park, overlooking the Forbidden City. Out of Jingshan Park, Tim comes to Yongding Bridge. The kitten walks on the Yongding Bridge and shows Tim around. After saying goodbye to Tim, the kitten returns to the Forbidden City. At the last stop of the Central Axis, Tim sees the bell and drum tower. Through the imaginary journey, Tim is interested in the Central Axis. How time flies. After his imaginary journey, Tim returns to his starting point. Now he knows how to visit the real Central Axis.